Well, another day, another episode of the Crazy Geezer podcast coming at you live from the mystical land known as Delaware. My guest today is a actress and a cosplay model. Her name is Lydia Manson. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. I hadn't seen you since the New Jersey HorrorCon last year where we first met.
Yep. And I think I was wearing the shirt.
You're also wearing the same pigtails, as I remember.
Yep. I try to, my character for Hell's Gate has this hairstyle, so whenever I talk about it, I try to just stay in character, so it keeps me grounded to the project.
That's fair enough. So Hell's Gate is a movie that you're going to be in. Why don't you tell us more about it?
I actually co-wrote the film. I am co-directing it, producing it, and then I also will be acting in it. So it's a story about a cult leader who uses psychedelic drugs to unleash his, I guess his constituents, his members, innermost hell. But he never quite knows who or what he's dealing with. There's actually an undercover FBI agent who has infiltrated the cult, and he's not aware of that. And he never really knows what everyone's innermost hell thing is. So he doesn't know what he's going to unleash in each person that takes these pharmaceuticals from him. And it just goes, for me, it's just a deep meaning, connecting us for mental health and showing that we're not doing enough for people with mental illness because we never know what everybody is dealing with. And we're just always throwing these things at them, hoping that'll help, but we're not really talking to the person. And I know a friend of mine, I just talked to him yesterday. He said he's struggling and he can't even get an appointment to talk to people about like his panic attacks. And that's why I want to push Hell's Gate so much, because I think the topic of mental illness and the stigma surrounding it is just not talked about enough.
I think that's wonderful. In all seriousness, we'll get to that in a second, but I have to correct myself. So not only are you an actress, you're not only a cosplay model, but you're also now a producer, writer, and director. I stand corrected.
A little bit each. You wear many hats in the indie industry.
Yeah, you know what? And I think that's great. I'm really happy for you. I honestly thought you were just in movies in front of the camera and, doing cosplay modeling work. I didn't expect that you were behind the scenes. I'm very impressed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was part of a film last month called Shiver, Slaying All Night Long. So I was actually script supervisor and second assistant director on that film, as well as acting in it. So I try to do as much as I can on whatever projects I'm attached to.
So let me ask you about that real quick. So most projects you're both front and behind the camera?
It's starting to be that way. I would say probably the last handful of projects I've been attached to, I've done a little bit in front of and behind the camera as well.
So the question must be asked is it easy for you to remember your dialogue when you're working behind the scenes? Because I know that for most actors, actresses, when in between takes, they're just trying to remember their lines.
I have been fortunate. There has only been not that I have done a large amount of things, but I'm definitely into double digits now, which is amazing for me to even think of. And I think back, and there's only one scene that there was one line I could not remember for the life of me. And I had practiced this line about 100 times out loud. And when it got time to film it, every single time, I just could not get that line. And thankfully, the director, MT Malia, the film is called The Board. It's available on Tubi if anybody is interested to watch it. For some reason, I just couldn't get the line. And she was so nice to me. And she was like, it just means that line was not meant to be said. Otherwise, fingers crossed, I have been able to keep up with my lines so far, and I hope to be able to continue that.
Oh, no. I'm asking in all seriousness because...
But yes, it is a struggle. In between scenes, I am always with my script. That's why I like doing script supervising, because I'm constantly with the script. When I am script supervisor, even in pre-production, you're going through the script so much. So not only do I learn my lines, I end up learning like half of the lines for other people. So I'm able to help, I'm able to step in and help them whenever they need a line. So it is a struggle, but fortunately I've been able to handle it so far, and I hope to be able to continue to handle it.
Well, once again, I'm very impressed because that can't be easy to do both.
It's not. Sometimes, like, as far as script supervising and acting is probably the hardest thing that I've had to do at the same time, because in between each take, you have to write down notes about that take. And that's the
Mhm.
take you were just acting in. So now you're like, okay, camera A was facing this direction for these two characters. Camera B was facing this direction on a close up of this one. Meanwhile, this was a good take for that camera, but was not a good take for this. And you're trying to write all of these notes in like the probably 45 seconds you have before they say, okay, back to one. And you have to go back on and act that scene out again.
I don't know
So,
how you do it, but I am impressed.
oh, thank you.
No, no worries.
A lot of shorthand.
So let's go back to Hell's Gate. You're talking about this movie potentially for mental health awareness. I can't even speak today.
Yes.
Let's talk more about mental health real quick. Do you personally suffer from mental health issues also, or any disorders, or is that something you don't want to talk about? And that's okay.
Oh no, I'm very open about my struggle with mental illness. I suffer from severe depression, anxiety, PTSD, from an incident. I had a head injury that left me with a traumatic brain injury. So for me, spreading awareness for mental health is very important. And I always try to talk about it because you know, no matter what, there's always a stigma that surrounds it. And especially with social media being so much of our lives now, we're able to paint this picture of who we want to be and who we want people to think we are. And I know myself as an actress, I always have to put out that I'm happy and I'm doing great. And people are messaging you and saying, oh my God, you're doing such a great job. You're doing all these amazing things. But meanwhile, inside, I'm struggling. You know, I haven't gotten out of bed the last 3 days. But you don't post that because that's not what people want to see. People want to see that you're doing the best that you can. But meanwhile, you're just barely even able to get up. Like, I'm a big supporter of the spoon theory. I don't know if you've ever heard of that.
The what theory?
The spoon theory.
Enlighten me, please.
So the spoon theory is kind of relates to mental health and the fact that every day you start off with a certain amount of spoons. So I'll just use 20 because it's just an easy number.
Sure.
So every day you start off with 20 spoons, but just getting out of bed today for me cost me 10 spoons. That was just to wake up. So already half of my spoons are gone that I need to get me through the entire day. Now to get over to the bathroom and brush my teeth, 5 more spoons are gone. So getting up and brushing my teeth, I've already depleted 15 out of my 20 spoons that I need to get me through my entire day. So I have 5 spoons left to just function as a normal human being, not going over and beyond on anything. So those 5 spoons are going to be gone probably by going downstairs and eating breakfast. And then I am just done. I have nothing left to give because I don't have anything left. I don't have any spoons to give.
I'm so sorry.
Everybody has their own struggles. And that's why I try to talk about it openly, because I think the more we talk about it openly, the more people who are struggling won't feel as that they're so alone.
I mean,
because I'll get messages that people are like, thank you for talking about that because, you know, I thought I was the only one that felt that way. Or I'm so glad to see other people are feeling that way. And that's what I want. I want people to understand that there are others struggling, even if they put out the perfect portrait of who you think they are, they could be still struggling inside.
I'm glad you're talking about this because I've been waiting for a while, ever since the podcast launched, to talk about mental health awareness because it used to be shunned upon, especially back in the 80s and maybe the 90s. And let's just say overall, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, you mentioned depression, you mentioned anxiety, you mentioned PTSD. It's not easy. I know a lot of people who suffer from depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and also most of them are autistic too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have you got diagnosed for ASD, like autism spectrum?
I was diagnosed with ADHD about a year and a half ago.
Oh wow!
And that's been a struggle because the medications, because because I the way that my psychiatrist explained it to me, I'm like, why am I so tired when I take my medication for ADHD? Because you see all these news reports that people are taking Adderall and Ritalin to like speed up and have energy. I'm like, why am I taking these ADHD medications and I am just ready to go take a nap? Like I can't, I'm so tired. He's like, because when I'm not medicated, my brain is running so fast all the time. He's like, the medication actually causes it to slow down. He's like, so your body's not used to it, so it just becomes tired because it's finally able to relax. So I always tell people, I said, what it's like in my mind is there's 100 internet browsers open and half of them are buffering. And that's what it just feels like in my mind all the time.
I'm
Like
glad you
I
said that.
try to go to sleep at night and it's just like, oh my God, you know, we make that joke about like thinking about something we did 15 years ago. And
Yes.
I was a waitress at Ruby Tuesday. This was 15 years ago.
Hmm.
I forgot to bring a lady a side of ranch, and I remember the exact booth she was sitting in. I remember like looking at her asking for this side of ranch, and I never brought it, and she never brought it up to me again. And I'm like, why am I still harping on this? It's such a trivial thing. And it's literally a decade and a half ago, you know? And I'm like, but I cannot get the thoughts out of my head. They won't go away.
You know what? I can relate. And but to proceed further with what you just said about the memory from 15 years ago. You're your own worst critic. It sounds like.
Yeah, people tell me that all the time. They're like, "You're doing so great," and I'm like, "No, I'm not." Like, I will be the first one to tell you that I am the worst actress. I need to improve on everything that I do, everything, the way I look, everything. And people always tell me I'm too hard on myself. But I tell myself, no, I'm telling myself the truth because everybody else doesn't want to be mean to me. So they won't tell me the truth. So they just try to be nice to me.
Mhm.
But that's how my mind works. And I can't, and as much as I train it not to do that, it just instinctively goes back to that. Like, you're not good enough. And I tell myself that probably 15, 20 times a day, if not more.
Once again, I can relate. I mean, being your own worst critic, your own worst enemy. The struggle's real. I'm
Well, it's
serious.
real. Jinx.
No, I'm serious. I suffer the
It
same thing
is.
too. I don't talk about it because remember what you said a few moments ago, especially on social media. Nobody wants to hear that crap.
Yeah.
I call it crap because that's what other people probably refer to it
Yeah.
as. And I should have said that, and I apologize.
No, I mean, I've noticed that every once in a while I will make a post about like what I'm struggling with, and I will notice that I will get a lot of engagement on it.
Hmm.
And I brought it up to that people want to see you at your lowest because that makes them higher. At least that's what
There's other ways to do that, Lydia. There's other
there
ways,
is. There is.
watch Jerry Springer and just think that thank goodness that's not you.
Yeah. But it's like, when you put yourself out there and you put like, this is how I'm really feeling and I really am struggling. And
Hmm.
it's like people, I try not to do it all the time because like, I know it's terrible to say, but I know like production companies and things like that, all of these people for films, they're looking at our social media all the time. And I'm like, they're not going to want to hire somebody who is struggling and putting this stuff online. So I have pulled back on that. And, I feel like that's kind of like a detriment to myself because I'm not being my true self if I'm not saying I'm struggling all the time. Like, I'm not doing great all the time. So that's why I'll go like a month without posting online because I don't care. That's not my first thing. My first thing is trying to make myself okay, that I'm not hurting myself, that I'm not doing something that's going to make myself worse, you know. And it's just sad to see that when people do post that they're struggling online, now all of a sudden they're getting attention. And it's like, well, why aren't you giving them the attention they need to maybe be okay when they're not okay? Why do they have to, why do I have to put out that, oh, I I want to unalive myself right now because I don't feel good enough. And now everybody wants to be my friend. You
Right.
know, it's like we should all be support. We should be checking on our friends all the time, especially when they go silent, because that's probably when they're struggling the most.
I wish it were that simple. I try to reach out as many people as I can until recently, only because I've just been so super busy, you know, with the podcast, my full-time job, this, that,
Life happens.
working on movies such. Yes, yes, yes. And in fact, um, do you get burned out often? Because I'm feeling burned out
Yes.
recently.
I actually Hellgate was like my baby. Like when you saw me at New Jersey Horror Con,
Yes.
the whole point of me being there was for Hell's Gate. I was promoting Hell's Gate. Everything was Hell's Gate. And probably about like 4 months ago, I got so burnt out on it, and oh my God, I feel like I'm gonna cry. Um,
Take your time.
I got
Take a
so
deep breath.
burnt out on it because it was like I'm putting all this effort into it, and I really just I don't want to be famous. I don't want to make a ton of money. I just want to tell a story that will help somebody. And it felt like everything was against me. You know, people were saying this movie's never going to get made. You're not doing this right. You're not selling acting perks, so you're never going to hit your goals on your crowdfunder. You're just it was just nonstop. Like you're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. You're never going to make it. And it got to the point where I convinced myself that I wasn't going to make it. And then when I was getting ready today to get on the show with you, and I put the shirt on, and I'm like, it's still my baby. I
Yes.
still need to help nurture it and help it grow. And yeah, it may take a little bit longer than I wanted to, but it's going to be better for it in the long run.
Yes. And give yourself credit for, you know, seeing this to the end. Okay. Seriously, you deserve a lot.
Thank you.
Not deserve. Excuse me. You earned a lot of credit to yourself.
Thank you.
So, of course.
Well, I mean, I have a great team I'm working with. Aaron Hawkins is the director, and we have our producer, Anna Robles, on it. Another one of our producers is Bill Diamond. He actually worked on Terrifier 3. So,
Bill Diamond, was he sitting next to you at Jersey HorrorCon last year?
yes, he was.
Small world, isn't it?
Yep, he was there to help. He's been my mentor as far as the film industry goes because he has such an extensive background. He's been in the industry for 40 years. He's worked on The Labyrinth. He's worked on Dark Crystal. Like
Yep.
I said, they filmed Terrifier 3 parts
Yep.
of Terrifier 3 at his studio. I've learned to help build props with him. If you watch the Levy Brothers Leprechaun movie, the well at the beginning of the short, I actually helped build that well, and I helped do the lighting on it. And so I've learned so much from him, and I owe him so much. And he supports me in Hell's Gate 100%. So I have a great team behind me. It's just, I'm sure the struggle of funding is the worst part of filmmaking, and it makes you not want to make films. Just trying to find the money.
My one director, Brian Wild, who I worked on a short movie with, he was having difficulty getting funding. Long story short, he was able to get the funding by other means, which I'm not going to get into. It's none of my business.
Yeah.
But the point is that, like, yes, funding, unless you know exactly what you're doing, it can be excruciating. In fact, and I can say this, that is my first ever on-screen gig. And it was supposed to be a paid gig, and I refused to pay. Because I knew that, how difficult and how much hard work that my director put into getting the funding. It's like, don't worry about paying me. You worry about everyone else, okay?
I've said the same thing a few times on set. Like, I've been paid less times than not. Like, most of the time I end up working for free. I'm just like, just give me a bed or even just a couch to sleep on,
Yeah.
Like, I'm easy. Like, most of the time it's just for the learning experience. The more time on camera is going to help make me a better actor in the long run. And the more film sets I'm on, the more I'm learning and the more things I'm going to be able to bring to the next film set I'm on.
Which, another quality that I've just discovered about you, Lydia, is your work ethic. You can't take that for granted.
Yep. I try really hard. I do. Anytime, like, first time I was script supervisor, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. So I went online, I researched everything, and I'm probably still not doing it the way it's supposed to be done, but I'm doing it to the best of my abilities and to help the editor with my notes. And, you know, I research everything so that I can do it the best way that I can.
Mm-hmm. Learn what you can during the one shoot, carry it with you to the next, and only get better. Practice makes perfect. That's what they always say.
Yep. Be like, oh, that, you know what? It didn't really work that way I did it, so I'm going to try it a different way this time, you know, so.
I love it. I love it. So let's see.
Is that a Batman Lego painting, or is that just a painting? I'm sorry. I'm just like so focused.
No, that's okay. This was a Batman painting that was given to me as a housewarming gift 4 years ago from my ex-sister-in-law.
Oh, sorry to bring up bad, if it was any bad. It just reminds me of Lego Batman. I absolutely love Legos. So.
Who doesn't love Legos? You could be 7, you could be 70, and Legos are awesome.
Well, unfortunately, Dick Van Dyke is 100 years old now, and Legos only go to 99, so he can't play with Legos anymore.
Oh, too bad. We're gonna keep playing with Legos anyway. But let's talk about that real quick. I love Legos as well. Only one problem: they're so expensive.
Oh my gosh, it is such a problem. And so when I mentioned that I got diagnosed with ADHD, I went into a really deep dive of Lego building. But my problem was I was building like a set a day. And they, like you said, they are very expensive. And then I started getting into the bigger sets. So I'm like, okay, so now it's taking me like a few days to build this. So now, and then you get to the point where you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I want to try something else. So I probably have about 20 boxes of Legos downstairs that need to be built. Like I have Rivendell, I have the Titanic, I have so many Harry Potter sets that need to be built, but I have 2 IKEA Billy bookcases that are already filled of built Lego sets. So I've built the Museum of Natural History, the Sanderson Sister House, the Snow White House, parts of the Harry Potter castle, the ship from the Triwizard Tournament, and it's just like I'm running out of places to put my built Legos.
You're just gonna have to create more space.
I know. I got to get more bookcases.
Look, you'll figure it out, Lydia. I'm not worried about that. What I am worried about is like you're not. You know what? It's not really worried about. It's more like you're just going to keep buying Legos and more Legos and more Legos.
Yeah, I actually have stopped buying them. Thankfully, I have. Except there is a new Lord of the Rings Lego set coming out that actually a director friend, Ty Chayman, he is the director of The Lady of Castle de la Mort that will be premiering in June.
You're going to have to get that. It's Lord of the Rings.
Oh, he pre-ordered it because I was supposed to AD on a project for him. So he was like, your payment could be the Lego set. And I was like, don't toy with me, Ty. I was like, I will be paid in Legos. So he pre-ordered it. So unfortunately, that project is we're no longer working on it. But I was like, we still got to figure out I'll pay you for the Lego set, you know, like obviously I still want it.
Right. How cool is that?
I know. I'm so
more
excited.
Lego. So you mentioned Batman. Lego Batman for you?
I haven't built any. I'm more of the Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings Lego sets and like
Nice.
the icon sets. So like the Museum of Natural History, that was actually a really fun build because it was like 3 stories. So it was like you built all the rooms, then you built the floor, built the rooms again, and then so that one was like a really interesting build to do. And I would love to do like the Colosseum and even the Eiffel Tower would be like an amazing set.
That would be awesome.
There's this woman on TikTok that I love to watch when she builds her sets. So great.
So, all right. So no Lego Batman for you, or at least not yet. Anything else Lego related? Like I don't know, like the DeLorean from Back to the Future, or the Ecto One from Ghostbusters, anything like that?
You know, I was contemplating getting the DeLorean. It's on my list. It's on my wish list. I do love Back to the Future.
The
But I don't
DeLorean
know if I
is
would
one of
get.
the
I
greatest
don't know if
cars
I
ever
would.
made.
Yes, there. It's actually. They're going to have the DeLorean at an upcoming New Jersey HorrorCon. I can't remember. I think it's the one at the end of May. They're going to have the DeLorean there.
You're going to be there
I
too,
got
right?
my picture. I don't know yet. I'm not going to be a vendor. I might come. I was talking. Jason Levy had reached out, and Marcus Slavian, and asked if I was going to be there hanging out. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't really plan on it, but I would love to see you guys. Like, I love connecting with the other filmmakers. It's great networking, and I've gotten to meet a ton of great people. So I might come down for a day. So we'll see. I did get a few, I think it was like 3 years ago. This was back when New Jersey HorrorCon was still in the lower level. It wasn't
Mhm.
where it was now in the Expo Center. And they had the DeLorean there. So I was super excited because I got my picture taken with
Excuse me.
it there.
I think I got my picture of the time machine in 2012.
Oh, okay.
And you should see how high my knees went up to the steering wheels because I'm 6'4". You know that because we met. You know how tall I am.
Yes.
Yes.
A really fun one was if you ever get to go to a convention that has the car from Super Troopers there. They had it at Silver Scream 2 years ago, and I got to meet two of the actors from Super Troopers. And
Oh my
then the
goodness.
guy that owns the car, um, we actually follow each other on Instagram now. So when they were filming Super Troopers 3, we were messaging, and I said we should just get uniforms and just drive up in the car. I was like, nobody would question us. I was like, because you have an exact replica of the Vermont Trooper car. I was like, so we would totally just fit in. You just grab a clipboard, act like you belong. But we never did. So
Maybe next time.
maybe if they do Super Troopers 4,
That'd be cool.
I would love that.
So the reason I asked about the Jersey HorrorCon is because the premiere for the short movie that I was in got pushed a week, and it might have been because of the same weekend as Jersey HorrorCon. So now I
Okay.
can go. So if you're going to
that's
be there, let me know,
awesome.
and I'll try to catch up and say hi.
Yeah, absolutely. I will definitely let you know if I am able to make it.
Cool.
I will
maybe not as
be
a vendor, but as a fan, I get that.
I will be going to Monster Bash in Pittsburgh in June because so Bill Diamond is he's been working on a docuseries of the artist Basil Gogos. I don't know if you're familiar with his work.
No.
He did a lot of the covers for the magazine Famous Monsters back in like the 70s and 80s. Like,
Ooh.
so as soon as you see it, you're gonna like. If I were to show, I can't pull it up right now, but if I were to, I could send you some of his artwork. You would know exactly what the artwork is, and then I'd be like, well, that's Basil Gogos' work. So Bill is doing a docuseries on him, and I got to act in episode 2, and they're going to be premiering episode 2 at Monster Bash in Pittsburgh in June. So I'll be going there to help support the docuseries and Basil's estate. So.
I think that's great. You know what? I'd love to go, especially to Pittsburgh, but I'll be lucky if I can make it to Jersey HorrorCon, just because I'm trying to save money. Money is very tight for everyone, or at least for the most part.
The cons are getting so expensive.
Well, you're right. Overall, not just entry fees, but also vendor tables for you in this case, yep. Or trying to get an autograph of somebody famous, and it's like almost 4 times the price, according to a friend of mine. Because who was it? I went to a con. It was late last year. It was was it Too Many Games, or was it another? I think it was Monster Mania. I got to meet Ralph Macchio, who played Daniel LaRusso in Karate Kid, and William Zabka, who played Johnny, and also in Cobra Kai. And they were not cheap. They were very expensive.
Yes, I went to, I believe it was in August, I went to Terrificon at Mohegan Sun, and they had the Ninja Turtles there from the live action, and they had James Soto, who played Master Shredder. And I was like, okay. So I dressed as April O'Neil from the 80s comics. And I decided
before in the past, just to be clear, I think I've seen you showed me photos of you as April.
That was the one and only time so it might have been before. It had to have been before I met you then because that was the only time I dressed as April. But I decided I was like, okay, I'm gonna meet all the turtles. Like I have to go, I have to do something big. So I dressed as April. My friend 3D printed me a 1980s like camcorder, like she carried in the cartoon. So
Channel
I had
6.
all of them sign it. I got individual pictures with all of them, and then I got the group picture, and I was like, this was a terrible financial decision. I was like, but it's a once in a lifetime thing that I'm never gonna forget.
Absolutely.
Because like they knew who I was the entire weekend. Like even when I wasn't dressed as April, anytime I walked past their table, they're like Lydia, because they were all lined up. So like it was great that I got that interaction with them. So
So that
I'm
is freaking cool, though.
yeah. So
That's
as
some brand.
much as cons add up, they are like once in a lifetime experiences,
Yes,
and I'm glad for every con that I've been able to go to and all the people I've gotten to meet. I've
absolutely.
gotten if it wasn't for cons, I wouldn't have gotten to meet you, and so
Yes.
it's good for certain things.
And I'm glad we met too, because for one, you're an awesome person.
Oh, thank you.
Just to
Neither are
say,
you.
thank you, and I appreciate the fact that you're sharing your mental health struggles. Here on the show every day, because mental health is a big deal. That takes a
Mhm.
lot to open up. I'm sure you're already aware of that.
Yeah, it's I used to be like not as open about it because I didn't want people that stigma. I didn't want people to put that stigma on me and be like, oh, well, she's just looking for attention. But it's like, no, I
No.
really am struggling. Like I've been to the psych ward. I've been through all the trials and tribulations, and I'm still here and I'm still talking about it. And that's what I want people to know, that it may suck today, but you could still be here tomorrow. Like,
Yes.
you know, don't the thoughts are lying to you. Don't let them win. As much as
Exactly.
I could tell, and I can say that as many times, but I'm still going to have a hard time believing it myself. And I'm sure anybody that's watching will tell themselves the same thing, and it's like we just got to keep trying,
Yes.
and that's what it comes down to.
I mean, not every day is going to be wine and roses.
Hmm.
I mean, you get bad days. I get bad days too. But I try to. You ever heard of a term called masking?
I think so, but I want to make sure I hear your definition before I think that is the same thing I'm thinking of.
This is just me paraphrasing. So I'm no
Hmm.
doctor. I'm no medical expert. But I believe masking is when you're hiding. It's like you say you're okay when someone asks
Yep.
you, but you're really not.
Yep. Hmm. And that's why I always say I'm acting all the time because I put on the happy face because that's what I know
Mhm.
people want to see. So I mask a lot, as
Yes,
I'm sure a lot of people do.
I was afraid of that because I do too. So I was
Hmm.
just, it's good to know that I'm not the only one, and you're not the only one.
Nope, we're not alone.
No,
I got your back. If you ever need
I
to
got
talk.
yours too, and going forward. Now that we're having this discussion here live on the podcast, anytime you want to reach out to me, you know how.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Oh, I'm serious. It's like, look, if you're having a bad day, you need to vent. Believe me, plenty of people vent to me, and I just listen. I do the best I can to
Thank
try to
you. It
make
means a
someone feel
lot.
better about themselves.
And if you ever need to talk, let
Sure.
me know.
Well, I'm definitely going to want to talk because there's plenty to pick your brain with. Because can I talk about one specific moment
Yeah,
where
absolutely.
this happened recently with you? You hung out with Amber Brooke on
Oh my
Instagram.
God.
You did a live chat with her.
Yes. Shoot. So we have been Facebook friends for a couple of years, and I grew up in Buffalo. She lives near Buffalo, and I'll go home, but we just never had the chance to interact. And it was finally I was home for a funeral, and I was like, you know what? I have this extra day. I was like, I'm gonna come see you. I was like, that's it. We're finally meeting, and she's just the sweetest person in the whole wide world. I absolutely loved her to death. And I hope that I get to work with her on something someday, just so I can hang out with her again.
I'm glad you said that because I want the same for you too. Because when I saw you and Amber during that live Instagram video, it's like the two of you just clicked, and it's like that's what the world needs to see. Just like two people just having a good time because it could
Yeah,
be
and that was the
scary.
first time we'd ever met,
Right,
and we
exactly. It
just
was
got
like
along so well. It was just like great. She's so
it's like the
great. She's so
two of
amazing.
you knew each other for years. It seemed like.
Yep.
That was the kind of chemistry between you and Amber. It was like, how long have they been friends? They look like they've been BFFs for years.
Yeah, we joked around that we were twins. So and we still message like almost every day
You
since
should
then.
collaborate. You and Amber need to collaborate on almost everything.
Hmm.
Just saying, as a
Yeah,
fan.
we made a joke. We were like, if anybody wants to write like a script about um, serial killer sisters, like we're putting it out in the universe that this is what we want to do. This is the project we want to collaborate on. We just need somebody to make it happen. I'm like, we're ready for it.
Almost reminds me of that music video from Queens of the Stone Age, Threes and Sevens.
Oh my God. It's like right on my brain, and I'm like, I feel like I remember that, but I'm gonna have to go and look it up after this just so I can
I was just
refresh
about to
myself.
say.
I'm like, I feel like I know what he's talking about, but I don't want to act like I do, and it's the wrong thing. I was like, so I'm gonna totally be Googling this as soon as we get off.
If you want, I could even send you the video on Messenger.
Oh yeah, that would be great. I'd love to
Yeah,
watch it
that
again.
that way you don't have to worry. You don't have to waste your brain power for doing something I could do in 2 seconds. Don't worry about it.
Well, thank you.
Oh,
And
sure.
thank you for having me on.
Oh, this is fun, and again, thank you again for being so open and honest because that's what this podcast is about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we're geeks, nerds, whatever you want to call us. We're into movies, horror, especially horror, video games, junk food, this and that. But at the end of the day, it's all about just being yourself, and being comfortable in your own skin. And yeah, I mean, good stuff.
Well,
So,
I really appreciate you having me on.
and you will be on the show again.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're
Maybe
welcome.
me and Amber could come on.
I would love that. You know what? Let's make it official. So Amber and August are going to be on the show soon.
Oh my God. Like August, Price? I don't know if I know how to
Her husband.
say her name.
Amber's husband.
I'm thinking of the actress August.
No,
She's in Canada. But she's an amazing horror actress. If you're ever looking for another guest, her name is August. I'll send you her profile. But yes, I did get to meet her husband while I was there, and he was so nice to me. It was so great. I'm like, I'm just gonna be stealing your wife for the next couple of hours to hang out. So he was great.
He's talented too. I can't wait to have them on my show. I think that'll happen in a few weeks. Right now, I think August is touring and Amber is, just trying to hold down the fort until then.
Mm-hmm.
I told her, because I was supposed to have an episode with her and August before yours, but then there was a scheduling conflict. Last weekend, I worked on a set for First State of Fear. Amber's going to be in it, and and time got the best of me. Those 2 days wiped me out.
Being on set, this is when I'm on set, I always am like handing bottles of water to people and handing people snacks. I'm like the mom on set.
Aww.
I'm like, did you eat? Did you drink? And it's the same thing at conventions. Like, you don't take care of yourself because you're running around doing a million things. You're talking to a million people all day long. You go for 16, 17, 18 hours and you're just, and it's like adrenaline just gets you through it. But then like you have the drop when you're done filming. And I don't think enough people talk about the drop from filming. Like, because, especially like for when I did Shiver, we filmed for 2 weeks straight. So you're with these people for 2 weeks. They become like your little mini family. And it's like and then it's like, okay, you got to say your goodbyes. And then it's like the drop sets in and you're so depressed and you're like, but I was just so happy. I was just with all these people doing what oh my God, I lost you. I'm sorry.
No, you're back.
Oh, I'm back. It's like you were with these people nonstop and you think it's curing your depression, but then it ends and you're right back to where you were. And I always tell
Yes.
people this, like, especially if they're going on their first set, I always tell them, I said, be prepared for the drop when you leave set. You will be happy as a clam while you are there, but the next day you are going to be so sad. And I always try to prepare people for that.
Okay, so
So,
how does one prepare for the drop? Because I'm a victim of it myself. So please.
I think it's just, you know, make sure you're staying hydrated while you're filming, taking care of yourself while you're filming, realizing that it's going to end. Because
Mhm,
when you're in the midst of it, you're like, this is never going to end. This is the greatest thing ever, right?
exactly.
But you have to be realistic with yourself that it is going to end. And you might not ever see some of these people again as close as you get, because these are people from how many different states that are coming together to make these films.
That's
And you
true.
might not make it out there. They might not make it to where you are. So I think the biggest thing is just being realistic that yes, it's going to be great while it's happening, but it is going to have to come to an end. It doesn't mean your friendships with these people have to end. They can
Right.
continue, but they're most likely just going to be on the phone. And for some people, that's fine, but some people need to be around people constantly to keep up. And it's like you have to realize that people have to get back to their regular lives, their day jobs, their families. So I just always be realistic that there is going to be an end date for filming. You are going to be upset, but you're going to get it past it because you have your next set to look forward to.
Yes. And there is one I could share. Is there one story I could share with you that happened this past Sunday?
Absolutely.
Okay, I thank you. So I'm working on First State of Fear, and this was a Friday and Saturday night. And once again, I got my ass handed to me, and so bad. In fact, I was so burned out, so worn out that I was supposed to have a birthday party at Main Event near Christiana Mall in Delaware this Saturday. I'm turning 47, so
Oh, happy early birthday.
oh, thank you. I canceled the party, and then the first AD for First State of Fear was like, "What's going on?" Like he was like legit concerned. He's like, "What's going on?" And I explained, and I said a couple of things that because I let myself vulnerable, and I said a couple of things that I'm not going to repeat. I'll tell you after the show, but not here. I'm not ready for that yet. But so he's like, "Well, okay, well, is it?" Because he was worried that he did something to me wrong, which I'm not used to hearing. And I said, "No, you didn't. No, you did nothing wrong." He's like, "Are you sure?" I was like, "Dude, seriously, you're fine. Everything, you're fine." I said my thing, went to sleep, woke up, and then I texted him, and it's like, "Well, I'm texting you back like you said," and he's like, "I'm taking you to brunch." He didn't have to do that. Him,
It's
the
great that
director,
you had
and
somebody like that.
the cameraman, all four of us went to brunch, and he didn't have to pay for my meal,
That's really great that
isn't it?
because
And the whole time
there's
and the
some
whole time we
really
talked shop.
bad experiences on set. So I'm glad that you had some good people there for you.
They want to show you that how much they appreciate it, because I was there pro bono, and you know how that is, working for free.
Yeah,
Which, once again, if I look at it as a way of paying my dues in the industry,
I say the same
and
thing.
I expect nothing in return. I'm sure you feel the same
Hmm.
way too.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I
So
always say I'm like, I've had a lot of little roles. Like I don't look at myself as a scream queen. I don't look at myself as this big actress or anything. I had my first lead role back in November for a movie called The Toy Maker. It's not out yet. I said because I've been at this for 5.5 years now. I said I'm still building myself up. I'm like, there's people that have been in the industry for 10 years that haven't had a lead role. Yes, it's an independent film. It's not Hollywood, but it's important to me. I'm like, and I will keep taking those small roles because that's how I'm going to learn. And like you said, I'm paying my dues.
yes,
And I've come across people that, you know, they've I've known them for 6 months and they're like, oh no, I need to get paid and I need this and that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, I'm not going to tell anybody how to run their career. I'm like, I do what I feel is best for me.
yes,
And for me right now, that is just learning and
yes.
trying to better myself and better my craft and pay my dues.
we're on the same page then. There's no question about it. I mean, the one thing I learned, and I learned this from probably early on before my first gig, Amityville Pool Toy Massacre, that's going to be out later this year with Newt Wallen. Leave your ego at the door is what I keep telling myself.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Leave your ego at the door, because I've seen egos clash and it's not pretty. Not but that particular production. I'm talking about another one in particular.
Yeah, no, in general, I understand.
It's like, no. It's like, no. Here's what I've learned, and you can agree or disagree with me that, well, yes, leave your ego at the door. For someone working behind the scenes, always keep your head in the swivel. See what you can do. Because I don't like to stand around for too long. Maybe that's my ADHD also, or it's also my fear of not doing a good enough job on set. I want to contribute. Although I'm not getting paid, that's beside the point. It's irrelevant to me. I want to do the best I can. But if somebody
sees how hard you're working on that set, it may lead to a paid gig. I recently attended a stunt school down in Texas, Extreme Force stunts with Mark Anthony Baca. And he's a SAG stunt coordinator. He's worked on films like the Minecraft movie and things like that. Mm-hmm. And one of the biggest things that he taught us is be an asset on set.
Yes.
So, like one day on set, something happened with Crafty. I wasn't doing anything. I went to the store, I bought a bunch of food, and I made dinner for everybody. I made myself an asset to that set because I stepped up because I was able to. If you're able to just even help move equipment around or, help somebody running lines in between scenes, like all of that stuff, it may not seem like it, but people are watching and people are noticing. Like I had somebody come up to me on a toy maker because I had a scene and it was with a child actor and it was the first time she was ever acting on screen. And I just sat there and we were just going through our lines back and forth. And they came up to me, not that day, not the next day, but at the end of production. And they came up to me and they said, Lydia, because I had this ongoing joke with him. I was like, oh my God, it's my first lead role. I'm really nervous. And he's like, I can tell. And to me, that hit me hard. Like I'm not doing good enough. Like I'm coming across as I don't know what I'm doing, and that's my mind telling me I'm not good enough. But he came up to me at the end of production and he was like, that day when you sat with that child and went over everything, he was like, I was paying attention. I didn't even know he was in the room. So it's like these little things that may seem minor that you're just like, oh, I was just helping. Like I'm just, people will notice and you can become an asset. And that's what you want to be on set is you want to be an asset. You want to be somebody that somebody can go to if there's an issue or if they need help with something and you learn a new thing. I'm constantly asking questions when I'm on set. I always tell the DP, I'm like, if I'm annoying you at any time, just tell me to shut up. Cause I'm like, oh, what lens are you on? Like what frame, like what is your framing for this? Like, what are you thinking? Like, because I'm trying to learn. Yes. Because this is the best film school you can go to is on set.
Absolutely. On the job training. Learn as you go. Mm-hmm. Practice makes perfect.
Yep.
No, that's great. Keep doing what you're doing. I mean, so one other thing I need to point out, and this is very important. You're not doing this to get attention. You're just doing things on set because it's the right thing to do.
I just like learning new things because I feel like, I like you. I don't like to just sit there. That's not how I was raised. Like I worked 3 jobs to put myself through college. Like I've always been the person that was taking care of things. Like, I grew up with a single mom, so I was helping with my brother and sister. Like that's the life that I know is just to be doing things. Like I worked in a restaurant, hands full in and out. You don't go back without dirty dishes and you don't come out without something to bring to another table. So to me, I took that mindset of what I grew up with and I brought it to set. I don't walk into set with empty hands because I could be helping somebody carry some equipment in. Uh-huh. I can be there's always something to be done on set. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything. Why not help?
I'm looking forward to the possibility that you and I could be working on the same set at the same time, wondering how that would work out because it would almost become a competition. It was like, we got to carry this or we got to get that. It's like, in that case, we would just share the responsibilities 50-50.
Just never touch anyone's equipment without asking first. That is the
Absolutely
number
not.
one rule on set. I was like, I will help you carry anything, but I will not carry it until you tell me to, because I am not going to be responsible for ruining somebody's camera. I would feel absolutely terrible, and I know I could never replace it. So
Almost
I always ask, I'm like, can I help with anything? That's I go up to anybody if I'm not doing anything. Is there anything I can help with? Is there anything I can do right now? And sometimes there's not going to be anything you can do. So that's when you just go and you sit down and you just go over your line, you go over your lines,
exactly.
and so that way you're not the one that's costing them time when the film is rolling.
And even if you forget your line or you miss a line, then you just yell line, and then the script supervisor will just recite your
Hmm.
line to you, and all you have to do is repeat it.
Yep.
A trick I learned on the one movie I worked on. I'll see if I can send you a link, and then I'll ask the director for permission.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Don't want to talk about that too much. I want to wait until the right time, and plus you're my guest, so it's only fair.
No, of course. Thank you. I'd love to.
That's all right. What else I got to ask? So working on sets. All right, let's talk about what you like to do. So you like building Legos. What else?
Um, I I like write. I've gotten more into writing. Like I've read a lot of poetry. I've gotten more into, I don't consider myself a model. Like um, have started, I found there's a local model near me. Her name is Maya. She's absolutely fantastic. And she has been doing these workshops. So I've been attending those to learn more about posing and finding your light and, just general ideas. And we're coming up with different ideas to do photo shoots together. So that's basically, and now I'm going to try and find my passion again to get Hellscape made is what I want to focus on now.
Sounds good. How do you mind if I ask how far along production has come for Hell's Gate?
So it's right now it's kind of like in purgatory until we get funding. Well, I've talked with a couple of private investors, and if that funding comes through, we want to take a good solid 2 months to just fully go into pre-production, storyboarding, everything. And it's pretty much like, I would say probably like 80% cast. We have our locations picked out. We'll be filming in Illinois. It's like we have all of the components. We just need to put them together. And
I understand.
unfortunately, we can't do that until funding. I did have I was able to write and direct a proof of concept to kind of give people an idea of what the film is about and the production value that it will bring. So I have that's actually pinned on my Facebook page. It's about a 5-minute video just to go over, kind of introduce you to Keith, who is the leader of the cult, which is called Sprouts, because it gives you a place to grow. So there's like a lot of research went into Hell's Gate. I know when people see the poster, our cult leader is played by Otis B. Dreads, and he does have a striking resemblance to Charles Manson. And Charles Manson does appear in the script, but I probably researched about 10 different cults when I was writing it, and I was taking tidbits from each of them. So I would say about half of the dialogue from Keith is actual quotes from cult leaders from the past. And I thought that would be interesting psychologically because these words were used to actually bring people into cults before. So to use them as dialogue, I thought would be really interesting. And just to show that there's no one side to this. Anybody is susceptible to this. And I think that's scarier than any slasher we could make up.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, the cult mentality is a scary thing, especially if you're emotionally vulnerable, like with depression, ADHD, anxiety, PTSD. or if you're on the
Well,
spectrum.
I wanted to show in Hellgate, like, yes, we have gory kills, but
Yeah.
they all mean something. Like, they're not just, oh, he just got killed because he got killed. Like, we deal with domestic violence, we deal with sexual abuse, we deal
Mhm.
with, my character in particular has a mental illness that she's dealing with. So I wanted to take these real world elements that everybody is dealing with, because I'm like, one person is dealing with the opioid crisis and overdosing on heroin. And I'm
Ooh.
like, how many, I'm like, how many people is that going to strike a chord with when they watch this because they know somebody or one of their family members? Same thing with mental illness, the domestic violence, the sexual abuse. Like, I wanted everything to have a reason behind it that somebody could get behind and be like, I understand.
That's really really impressive. One quick question. Will alcoholism play a role in this movie?
Um, Not in this.
Maybe the sequel.
Maybe.
Maybe.
You know what they say. There's gotta be a sequel.
Oh, especially if some of the characters survive from the first, you got to make a sequel.
Hmm.
Even if none of them survive, still make a sequel.
There's also, I tried to put a lot of little, what is the word? Easter eggs in. So if you're like a really true crime buff, there's a ton of Easter eggs. Like, one of them, for instance, there's a news reporter, and I named the news reporter Bobby. I believe it is Bobby Bush. Bonnie Boucher, I believe it is. I'd have to go back and double check my notes, but that was the
But
name of the whistleblower for the Nexium cult. And I said,
oh,
So I was like, oh, what better name for a newscaster than a whistleblower who blew the lid off the story of the Nexium cult, you know? So there's a
I
lot
like
of
that.
little Easter egg, and every, so it's like everything was done for a purpose. Like, names were like Keith Appleson. So you have half of it is Apple for Applewhite from Heaven's Gate, and then Manson and then the son from Manson. So Appleson. So everything had a lot of thought behind it, especially in naming characters and why their characters are the way they are.
Wow. So here's what I love about Easter eggs. It's like the more Easter eggs there are, the more times you have to watch it because you have to catch them all.
Mm-hmm. It's like Pokemon.
Do you play Pokemon? Because I don't.
I don't, but I when I was like 13 or 14, I was really heavily into Pokemon.
Oh wow,
So,
long time ago.
well, a long time ago, but I still have my moments.
If you ever decide to get back into video games, Lydia, my recommendation would be anything horror related, since you're such a fan.
Yeah, I've never. I used to play Alice Return to Madness back when that was a big game. Back that was what when the PS3 came out,
Yep, I have
PS2.
a copy back there.
Yep, that was the only game I really played.
Are you into zombie movies at all? Out of curiosity.
I'm more vampires than zombies.
Vampires. That's fair.
Team
Well, I'm trying
Edward.
to think. I'm trying to think of video games that feature vampires because I can't think of too many. Too many. I mean, if you're into zombies, there's Resident Evil. If you're into like almost paranormal type thing, there's Silent Hill. Also, I'm just throwing a few ideas at you.
Oh yeah, it's always great to have options.
I was just thinking out loud, I guess. So we're gonna wrap up. So my question for you is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want the fans to check out before we're done?
So I would love everybody to go check out the proof of concept for Healthgate. It's pinned at the top of my Facebook page. It's about a 5-minute video. So if you have 5 minutes to spare, I would love for you to give a watch and give any critiques on how you think we can make it better.
And I will make sure
Always.
that all your links are in the description. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, sure.
And then June, we are going to be premiering The Lady of Castle de la Morte in Buffalo, New York. So if anybody's interested in that area that wants to attend the premiere of an independent film, I can give you the information for that. I have a toy maker should be coming out by the end of the year, which is my first lead role. And then we just finished production on Shiver Slaying All Night, so we'll be having a post-production campaign coming up on that. It has great actors in it, such as Martin Kleba from Pirates of the Caribbean, Robert Lasardo from CSI Miami, Nip Tuck. He's also going to be in Hellgate. Robert Lasardo is, he's a veteran actor to independent films. He's one of the hardest working men in the industry I know. Also, John Fiore from The Sopranos was in it. So lots of great people. So lots of things that are going to be coming out, and I can't wait for everybody to see them.
I'd say. And last thing before we wrap up is now I feel in the spot. Well, I talked to Amber about a concept for a script that I'm currently brainstorming and have been brainstorming for about 6 months, and I wanted her to be one of the actresses, or actually one of the lead actresses. Why not include you too? I'll tell you more about it.
That would be so amazing.
Well, that way the two of you get to work together. It'll be fun.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so sweet of you. Thank you.
Well,
but
again,
it's been
you
great
and
talking
Amber
with you.
click so well, then why not work together? Let's just prove that you can work together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's a great human being. I'm glad I've gotten to meet her.
She's been in a couple of Black Cat film productions. What was it? Part of Fire, and then Fragmented Mind. Part of Fire is available on YouTube on the Black Ava YouTube page. Part of Fire, well, that's for Part of Fire. Fragmented Mind, I asked for an update, haven't heard back, so fingers crossed. And Amber did a great job on both.
Ron is probably one of the hardest working people in the industry I know too. He's always doing something.
The dude is hungry, and I don't blame him. Let him brag about anything. He's earned it. He's earned his flowers.
Yes, he works his butt off. He actually, my first time I was assistant director, he was one of my PAs, and I told him every single day what a great job he was doing. Because he never complained. He just did his job. He's such a great human being. So glad to have met him.
He did yell at me once, and it was like one of those Homer Simpson memes where I was rising from the shrub back into the shrub. It was like
I do that all the time.
So the moment was that I'm waiting for my cue after cut to clean up the fake blood on the birthday cake, and all I heard was, "Chris, you're in the shot," and I just took 2 steps back.
You never feel more seen than when someone says you're in frame. You are just suddenly like,
I'm getting the hell out of here.
Yeah, I don't think I ever moved as fast in my life when I hear, Lydia, you're in frame. Nope, not anymore.
I was like, I'm out of here, man.
Wile E. Coyote, where you see like his frame and dust still.
Well, good old Wile E. Coyote. He never got that Roadrunner turkey meal.
But I did see that they're finally releasing that Acme movie, I believe, in June or July, so I'm excited for that.
Acme movie?
Yes, John Cena's in it.
John Cena?
It was like shelved for like 3 years, and it's finally getting released. Like they were not going to release it like that Batgirl movie, I think it was, that $90 million Batgirl movie they made, and they just shelved it.
Yeah, unnecessarily too.
Yep.
Well, the movie's finished, though. It's never going to come out. I'm like, well, what was the point then?
Yep. Tax write-off.
That Michael Keaton plays Batman in that. It's like, that's my go-to.
Brendan Fraser is in that too.
Yes, he plays
the villain.
And he apparently did an amazing job.
Well, it's Brendan Fraser. When does he not?
He's making his comeback. He's doing great. I'm happy for the guy.
I couldn't be happier for anybody to come back into Hollywood, especially after everything he went through.
I don't know exactly what he went through, but I know he went through some heartache.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'll message you about it.
Oh, that sounds good. So Brendan Fraser. And so one more thing about the Acme movie. So it's Looney Tunes with former WWE champion John Cena.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the movie's about. I just know that there was like a lot of it was shelved. A lot of people were upset, and a lot of people have been like championing for it to come out, and it's
Yeah.
finally got like a release date. So
It's just something I never would have put together in my head, like John Cena and a Looney Tunes movie.
yep.
I know there's nothing wrong with that, seriously, because again, Brendan Fraser was in Looney Tunes Back in Action back in the day.
Yep.
And I grew up on Looney Tunes. Who didn't back in back in those days? So I got my mother to blame for that.
It's always the moms.
So okay, so Wile E. Coyote was one. I know we're talking cartoons at this point. Another favorite of mine that needs a movie is Duck Dodgers.
Oh, yes.
Because, well,
talk about some of the greatest intro music to a show is the 90s. Like any cartoon in the 90s had like the greatest intro music for no reason.
Does Turtles count?
Yeah.
By the way, what do you think of my Turtles in Time arcade cabinet behind me?
I believe me, I've been staring at. That's why I got so distracted. I'm like, I got to stop because I'll just keep picking things out from the background and talking about it.
Well, you can't see it, but the original Turtles arcade is right next to it.
When we get done, I'll have to show you. I have my camcorder that's signed over to the side of me.
I'll tell you what. I'll take photos of close-ups of both arcades and also the handhelds above me. Those are the handhelds from the 90s from Konami, the LCD ones.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
great collection.
Thank you. Work in progress, right? It's a testament of our hard work.
Yep.
All
right, to buy all the stuff we wanted with our adult money that we wanted as a kid.
Exactly, but it's never too late to make your dreams come true. So I really appreciate you being on the show. I'll contact you afterwards. Oh, you're very welcome. And let's have you back on again soon. In fact, let's get through Amber and August's episode. And because I'm going to consider this another power couple episode. This will be my second. First was Ilson 4K with Creepy Betty. And then once that's done, then get you and Amber in the same podcast episode, just see what the hell happens, because now I'm excited.
Me too. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You take care.
You too.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.